Hello students, welcome to science class. Today I am going to take chapter number 2 and the name of the chapter is food. Chapter number 2 and the name of the chapter is food. Food, why do we take food? There must be some purpose, okay? So each and everything in this universe have purpose, okay? So food, why do we take food? To get energy. So to survive, all living beings take food. Every organisms need energy to carry on with the process of living. To live, we need food. To survive, we need food. Okay. So when we take the food, we get the energy to move from one place to another, to do actions, to run, to walk, to speak, to sit, to sleep, all these things. Okay. So food is very essential in our life. Without food, nobody can live. None of living beings can live without food. This energy comes from food. Food also provides the materials needed for the growth of the body. It helps to repair injured tissues, for example skin and bones in the case of cuts and fractures. Okay, so not only energy we get and not only energy from the food. Okay, so it repairs our toned out tissues. Suppose if we get hurt, if we get wounded, so the food repairs that tissue. Okay, so it joins the tissues, it repairs the tissues. Okay, suppose if somebody got cut in his or her hand, okay, after few days you will find that the cut has joined. Okay, so that is because of the food. Okay, the food what we take. Okay, again the food have varieties. Okay, different varieties of foods are there, different nutrients. Nutrients is the vitamins, minerals, fats, carbohydrates food contains. Okay, so work of in this chapter we are going to study the purpose of each and every food proportions. Okay, it is needed to continually repair old tissues, for example hair, blood and skin. Lastly, it helps to build resistance against diseases and to fight infections, and enables the body to recover after illness. In short, all organisms need food for the following reasons. Okay, so we all need food for our survival, to repair the torn out tissues. Okay, for the growth of the hair, for the growth of the skin, for the development of the organisms. Okay, so the development of the organs in our body. Okay, so for the proper growth we need food. To get energy, the first purpose of the food is to get energy. Okay, the first one. The second is for growth. Okay, repair and maintenance of the body, and to fight against diseases. The food, the type of food we take, it fights against the diseases. It boosts up our immunity systems. Like vitamin C, it fights against many diseases. It is the very important vitamin which required in our body. Okay, so vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin E. Different vitamin E is for skin and vitamin A is for eyes. Okay, so different vitamins, different minerals we are having, and each vitamins and each minerals have its own purpose to work inside our body. If some vitamins and some minerals lack inside our body, it causes deficiency. Okay, and that deficiency makes abnormality in our organs. Okay, food from plants. So what kind of food we get from plants? Okay, so here cereals, pulses, vegetables, fruits, spices, oil, tea, sugar. Plant provide us with most of food and drinks. In some plants the root is edible, while in others it is the fruit, stem or leaves. More than one part of a plant may also be eaten, as which list some of the food we get from the plants. Okay, so what kind of food we get from plant? Of course we will not get a flesh from plant. Okay, so from plant we get pulses, cereals, vegetables, fruits. Okay, all these kinds of food we get from plant. Okay, like many drinks also, juices, orange, apple, all these fruits comes from the plant. Okay, so and all the vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, all these things comes from the plant. This type of food we get from plant. Okay, sometimes the fruit and seeds are fused or stuck together. So sometimes the fruits and the seeds, the seeds. Okay, so each and every fruit contains seeds. Okay, so sometimes the fruit and the seeds gets fused. Okay, we cannot separate the fruit from the seed. Okay, so you cannot peel off the fruit from the seed. Grains or cereals like wheat, rice and maize fall under this category. Grains constitute our staple or main food. whether in the form of roti, rice, idli or bread. Okay, so grains or rice and all these things are our staple food. That is the main food, okay, which we take. Okay, so which gives us the more energy, which contains carbohydrates. Okay, lots of carbohydrates, and carbohydrates is very essential for our body. Okay, so we get lots of energy from the carbohydrate and fat. Okay, most of the energies we get from carbohydrate and fat only, which is required in our body. So some seeds and fruits, we cannot separate them. Okay, the seeds and the fruit cannot be separated, and example of that seed and fruits are maize. Okay, so maize, rice, all these things are example of that kind of food which cannot be separated it from seeds and the fruits. Now, seeds and grains have a lot of stored food materials. This food is used by the developing seedlings or baby plant. When the seed germinates, roots and underground stems like carrot, onion and potato also have stored food and baby plants can use. Okay, so here the seeds of like grains have a lot of stored area. Okay, so like potato is a where potato, the food is stored in that. Okay, so what happens at that time, the baby plants which comes out from the seeds, okay, the seed, I mean the grains contains the food. Okay, the baby plant, when it comes out of the, I mean that seed, it gets the food from that seed. Okay, so now plant foods from animals. So we have seen the food from plants, what type of food we get from the plant. Now what type of and what kind of food we get from animals. So of course milk we get from animal, flesh we get. Okay, so meat, eggs, all these are the foods which we get from animals. Milk, meat, eggs come from animals. Cows and buffaloes are the chief provider of milk. Cows, buffalo and sheep, they provide milk. Okay, we get milk from animals. Okay, though in some places people do have milk of other animals like camels, goats. Not only cow, buffalo and sheep, camels, goats also provides milk. Okay, yogurt, butter, cheese, ghee, all these things we get from animal. All these things we get from the animal, like ice cream, sweets, chocolates, milkshakes. There are many things we get from milk. Okay, so milk makes milk. From the milk we get many different kinds of products. Okay, ice creams are made from milk, cheese, ghee, butter, all these things are made from the milk. Okay, paneer. Okay, so all these things are made from the milk, which is a great source of fat and proteins. Birds or fowl kept for meat and eggs are called poultry. So what is poultry? Okay, so poultry where the birds and the hens, okay, are grown, that is said to be as the place where birds and eggs are grown is said to be an poultry. The most common domestic fowl is the chickens. The most common domestic fowl is said to be as chicken. Everywhere you can find chicken. Almost every person loves chicken to eat. Okay, all the non-vegetarians loves to eat chicken. So people to keep ducks and other birds, to sheep and goat as some other animals that provide us with meat. Fish, crabs, lobsters and prawns come from rivers, lakes and seas. Fish oil and eggs are considered to be very nutrients. Okay, so here fish oil and fish oil we get from the fish. Okay, so from the river, from the land side we get what kind of food from animals, that is milk, egg, and all the milk, egg, flesh, all these things we get from animals. And not only that, from the aquatic animals, from the aquatic organisms like fish, lobsters. Okay, so all these things are eaten by human beings. Okay, so and fish provides the fish oil, which is very much essential for our joints. Okay, honey is another thing we get from animals. So honey, you have heard about the honey. Okay, so it is a very sweet substance. Okay, so honey we get from animals. Okay, that is called we get from honeybee. How do we get? The honeybee builds a hive and they collect the nectar of the flower. Okay, they take the nectar of the flower and they collect they make the honey inside their hives. Okay, so extracting honey from the Beehive is a skill that people have to learn. So simply you cannot go to the beehive, honeybee hive, okay. So simply a normal person cannot go and break the hive, okay. So because the honeybees are very dangerous, okay. So they come and sting you, okay. So whenever if anybody hurts you, if anybody hurts us, no, so we protect ourselves. The same way the honey, whenever you go for breaking the beehive, at that time they protect themselves, they stings us, okay, and which is quite poisonous. We get swollen in when the honey stings, no, so at that time we get swollen and pain on the particular area. So it is not very easy to break the hive, okay, to get honey, okay. So to get honey from honey hives, we need a very expertise person, okay, so who knows how to take the honey from the beehive, okay. So a place where bees are kept for the production of honey is said to be as apiary. So the place where honeys are kept for the production of honey, that place is said to be as apiary, and the beekeeping is called apiculture. How food comes to us? Suppose you heard of roti, dal, vegetables, dahi and lunch, okay. So lunch, atta, vegetables, oil, spices, milk, okay, from the market you buy. But how did they reach to market? Okay, so that is a big question, that how they come to the market, okay. So obviously the products doesn't have its leg to walk and come to the market, and that doesn't have its mouth to tell that please buy me, okay. So how does, that is the question, how does it come to market and how do we get the food, okay. So it is not like that simply we are sitting at home and asking to Allah that provide me food. It is not like that, okay. So we have to work hard to get the food, okay, and how it is coming to us. So take atta for examples. Farmers grow wheat in their field, okay. So when the wheat ripens, they harvest it, okay. We have seen in the village areas farmers grow wheat, rice in the field, in an open field, okay. So in a big open field, okay. So afterwards when the plant, when the fruits gets ripened, okay, so when the wheat ripens or the rice gets ripened, at that time they harvest it, okay. So that they pluck it out, okay. Some sells it to the traders and some sell directly to the flour mills, okay. The farmers, what they do after the harvest, that ripen wheat or a rice, okay, they sell to whom? To the traders or to the flour mill, okay. So to the flour mill. Either way, the wheat has to be transported from farms to mills. From the mills, the ground wheat or atta is transported to shops, okay. The wheat has to be transported to mills where the wheat has been grinded properly into powder, okay. So you have seen the atta powder, right? So that comes from a wheat, okay. So that comes from a wheat grain, okay. So that the flour mill grinds it and makes it in a powdery form, and that come to the market, okay. So when it come to the market, we buy from the market, okay. Big shoppers are called wholesales. You ever heard about the name of the wholesales, okay. So the big shoppers, okay, and after the small shops are said to be a retailers, okay. Retailers get buy from the wholesale market, and from retailer we normal people buy, okay. So simply in a shop we are going and buying wheat, atta and all these things, okay. So that is we are buying from the retailer, not from the wholesale. So wholesale means they sell the things in a huge amount, okay. So in a huge amount which is bought by the retailer, and from the retailer we are buying, we normal people are buying. We generally buy or supply from retailers who get their supplies, since they do not have to be processed in mills. Sugarcane and oil seeds like mustard and groundnut are transported to sugar mills, and oil mills like wheat and rice are transported to for the farmers, whether they sell to the suppliers or they directly go to the flour mill and they grind it, okay. So other than this, like oil seeds and mustard and groundnut are transported to sugar mill or oil mills, okay. So mustard, we get the mustard oil, okay. So the mustard oil we get from the mustard seeds, and the mustard seeds has been grounded to the it has been transported to the oil mills, and from that we get the oil, okay. So what about fish, meat, egg and milk, okay. Fishermen catch fish from rivers, ponds, lakes and seas. Traditional fishermen are fishing boats and nets. You have seen in the mostly nowadays nowadays in the developed areas or developing areas, ponds are getting vanished. Okay, so you have, if you have seen the ponds, okay, so ponds, in the ponds you have people what they do, from the pond we get fish. Okay, you have seen the net, how the fishermen catch, not only from the pond, the fishermen goes to the seas, or they take the fish from the river also. Okay, so they have a huge net which catches the fish. Okay, not only that, trawlers are machine boat used to fish in the sea. Trawler is a machine boat which is a very huge boat, okay, which is used for catching the fish in the seas. That they have large net attached to them. These nets are dragged along the bottom of the sea and can catch a lot of fish at one go. The fish caught by fishermen are brought to wholesale market, from where retailers get their supplies. Okay, so the trawler is a huge boat. Okay, so where the net is net attached. Okay, so normally in a in a small fisherman, in a less fish, you can see this is in a seasides. Okay, the seasides in a huge areas. Okay, in a huge area where the fishermen want to catch a huge number of fish. Okay, a large number of fish. Okay, so at that time the trawlers has been used. The trawler has nets attached to it. Okay, so it makes the fishermen to catch the fish very easily, and a very huge number of fish. Okay, so after that the fisherman sells to the market. The fisherman the fisherman sells this all the things to a wholesale market. From the wholesale market, retailer, and from the retailer we get. Okay, so we from the retailer supplies to the normal people. So food habits. So what is a food habit? What do we mean by the food habit? The food we take every day. So like morning we have breakfast, lunch and dinner. In between we have snacks. Okay, so this is the food food habits. The time, the food we take according to the time, and the amount of food we take, and what is the food we what kind of food we take at a particular time, that is said to be as food habit. The type of food we generally eat, the number of meals we have in a day, and the time at which we take these meals constitute our food habit. So very first thing about good food habit is to eat as much as one needs to fixed times of a day. Overeating leads to digestive problems and obesity, and obese person is unhealthily fat. Obesity causes many diseases. So overeating, we know that overeating causes unhealthy. Okay, so unhealthy person. Overeating causes obesity. We are having lots of fats are stored in our body, and the stomach becomes bigger, or the people gets fattier. Okay, because of the fat. Okay, so that is said to be an obesity. Excess fat. Okay, which has been not broken. Okay, excess of eating many things. Excess of eating is not good for health. Excess of eating, whatever we excess things we eat, that is stored inside our body. Okay, so the daily work we break some amount of energies, and excess in the case of excess overeating, the energy which we need for the daily, it gets broken down, but the energy we don't require for our daily purposes, daily work, okay, that gets stored in our body. Okay, and that creates problem inside our body. Obesity, you can say obesity. Not only that, fat store, some fats can be stored in other organs of the body like kidney. Sometimes we get many heavy huge diseases in our body. Okay, dangerous diseases in our body because of the obesity, because of excess food, because of unhealthy food which we consume every day. Okay, unhealthy food, it's like fried things, spicy things, all these things are not good for our health. Okay, so we can consume the fried things, but in a little amount. Okay, so not in excess amount. Okay, excess is not good. Okay, so fresh fruit, salad, vegetables and milk products are considered to be good for health. Oily, fried and spicy foods are not. Frying and overcooking destroys many of nutrition substances present in food. Well, why we cook food? Okay, so as I already told you, frying, spices, deep fry, like we eat pakoras, then we eat like chow means, all these things are not good for our health. Okay, so we can consume all these things for a taste, for a a little amount only, not on the regular basis. Okay, so fish, like fish, the natural fruits like fish, fruits, vegetables, which are very good for our health. Okay, which makes us which keeps us very healthy. Why do we cook food? Okay, so every time we get the vegetables and we cook. Okay, so we cook. So why do we cook? There is a two purpose of cooking. One is to get a better taste, and one is to destroy all the germs. Okay, and it gets digested. To make it digestible and to improve its taste, cooking also kills germs and sometimes present in food. Okay, so already I said you that two purpose. Okay, we cook food for two purpose. One is to get a better taste, and other one is for the to kill the germs. Okay, so the art of good cooking is to make food digestible and healthy without destroying the healthy substances present in food. So we should not cook food, overcook food. Okay, so the food has to be cooked in a limitedly. Okay, so overcooked food destroyed many nutrients. Okay, suppose if someone is cooking for an half an hour. Okay, so it destroys the nutrients which are present in that vegetables what we are cooking. Okay, so we should not destroy the the nutrients which are present in vegetables which we have used for the cooking. Okay, so there should be a time limit, there should be a certain limit that within this we have to cook our food. Okay, for the better taste and to kill the germs only, not to destroy its nutritional facts. Now, food habits of animals. What are the food habits of animals? How they take food? How often they take food? Okay, as human beings, we have breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner. So animals, obviously, they don't have that a particular time. That morning they will take breakfast, and lunch they will take at afternoon. Okay, so their food habit is completely different from us, completely different from human beings. So one could write many books on food habits of animals. So there are some that eat insects, some that live on nectar, and some that are content to live on the decaying matter in soil, and others are very choosy about the leaves very much. Okay, so the animals, they don't cook their food. Okay, so what happens that time, some animals eat insects and survive. Some animals survive on the nectars of a flower. Okay, a sweet substance which we get from the flower, that is said to be as nectar. And some animals live decaying the substance, okay, on the soil. So on the basis of this, the animals have been categorized into three types, that is herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Okay, so herbivores are cows. So herbivores are cows, sheep, goats. All these things, all these animals are herbivores because they take only plant. They don't take the flesh of the other animals. They don't eat the flesh of the other animals. So those animals who takes only plant, who survive only on plant, are said to be as herbivores. Now carnivores. Carnivores are like carnivorous animals like tiger, wolf. All these things are carnivorous animals. They survive. They eat only the flesh of the other animals. Okay, so they are said, the animals which eat the flesh of the other animals are said to be as carnivorous. Okay, omnivores like bears, crows, and human beings. Okay, human beings are omnivorous. They take both. They take the flesh, non-veg and veg. They take the flesh of the animals also, and they can eat the plants, vegetables also. Okay, so they are said to be an omnivores. Herbivore is the only animals which survives only on plants. Carnivore is the only element like tiger, wolf, or they survive only on flesh of the other animals. And omnivores are mixed. Both herbivores and carnivores are mixed together. Okay, that means they take the flesh also, and they can take the plant, products also, plant also. Okay, they are said to be omnivores. The dogs and cats are essentially carnivores, which are kept as pet as omnivorous. Okay, so dogs and cats we keep as a pet. Now, constituents of food. Okay, food contains various chemical substances required by our body. These chemical substances are called nutrients. Can be broadly classified into 5 groups. Okay, so constituents of food. What are the constituents of food? Okay, the constituent foods are carbohydrate, protein, minerals, vitamins. All these things are the constituents of food. Okay, the food has been classified, okay, into 5 groups, that is carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals and vitamins. Okay, so carbohydrates. What is carbohydrate? Carbohydrate contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. A mixture of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is said to be as carbohydrate. The bulk of wheat we eat consist of carbohydrates. So wheat, rice is full of carbohydrate, which our body requires every day. Okay, for we get lots of energy from the carbohydrates. The simplest carbohydrates are sugars, okay, like glucose and fructose. So while glucose is found in grape juice, fructose is found in honey. Glucose can be broken down very quickly by the body to release energy. Okay, so glucose is broken down very quickly to get energy. Okay, so when suppose we are taking a glucose, okay, yeah, that is the reason why glucose are provided to the athletes. Okay, so you have seen in the TV and in the TV in sports channels, you have seen the athletes get glucose. Okay, they eat while running, they drink something, no, that is a glucose. Okay, so they drink so that they can get quick energy. Okay, they get the quick energy to run faster. Okay, so glucose gives us instant energy. As soon as we drink, within a minute we get a lots of energy. Okay, so to run, to walk or to do our actions, glucose can be broken down very quickly by the body to release energy. That is why it is given to patients and sports persons who require quick supply of energy. And not only the sports persons get they drink glucose, and not only that, the patients are also provided glucose. Starch is another type of carbohydrate. So fructose and glucose is one kind of sugars. Okay, that comes under carbohydrate, and the fructose, okay, so that is starch, is also another kind of carbohydrate. Starch molecules are more complex than sugar. It is very complex. Starch is very complex. It gets a little less time to break inside our body. Okay, so starch is very complex than sugar molecules. In fact, they are found by many molecules of sugars. Many molecules join together to form a many molecules of sugar join together to form a starch. Okay, arranged in a particular manner. Since the starch molecule is like many sugar molecules put together, it contains more energy than a sugar molecule does. Okay, so the starch contains more energy, where the glucose gives us the instant energy, and the starch contains more energy compared to the sugar. Okay, since it have lots of molecules, lots of sugar. Okay, so the molecules of sugars are arranged together to form a starch. It contains more energy than a sugar molecule does. Remember that though, a starch is made up of sugar molecules. It's not sweet like sugar. Also, while some sugars are soluble in water, starch is not. So some sugars are soluble in water, but the starch does not get solute in water. So we get most of our requirements of carbohydrates from plants. Okay, so since we need energy, okay, so and most of the energy are provided by the carbohydrate food. Okay, carbohydrate food, we get this carbohydrate from plants only. Most of the carbohydrate we get from plant based food. Okay, so the plant produce carbohydrate during photosynthesis and store them in a form of starch, sugar and fats. Okay, so at what time the plant produces carbohydrate? At the time of photosynthesis. Okay, so photosynthesis is a process where a plant gets sunlight and it prepares, with the help of a chlorophyll, it prepares its own food. That process is said to be an photosynthesis. So in the process of photosynthesis, at that time plant prepares carbohydrate, and it stores its carbohydrate form of starch, sugar and fat. So fruit juices contain sugars, while potatoes, rice and tapioca are rich in starch. Fruit juices of the fruit contains sugars, and tapioca, rice in rich in starch. Okay, potatoes have lots of starch. Okay, so potatoes, when you take lots of potatoes a year after year, if you continuously take potato, obviously you will become very healthy if you don't break out in a every day. Okay, so if you don't break down the starch, doing lots of activities in your daily life, and you're consuming you're overeating, you're consuming more starch products. Okay, so obviously we'll get healthier, and it makes you obese. Okay. Cellulose, the substances which forms the cell wall of plant cells. Cellulose is the substances which formed in the cell wall of the plants. It is also a carbohydrate. Cellulose is also a carbohydrate. Okay, so how can we test a starch? Okay, a very simple method of testing a starch. Okay, if the food is containing starch or not, how can we identify? We cannot see and say, if I take an apple and if I take a potato, will you be able to say which one contains a starch more? No, we cannot say that. For that reason, we need to do a test, and very simple test. You are already familiar with we know that how to do a test. It is a very simple test. You can add a few drops of iodine solution to different food samples. Okay, so different kinds of food samples you take. Okay, by seeing, you cannot say that this one contains large starch and this one doesn't contain a starch. Okay, so we need to do a test. Okay, so in a different samples of food, the iodine, we have to pour the iodine drop by drop in that sample of food. For example, you can take mashed potato. Okay, so mash the potato, and on that, or a boiled rice. Okay, mashed boiled rice, if you put a drop of iodine on it, color gets changed. Okay, so the mashed potato will be an creamy color. Okay, so like it is not a white one and it is not a brown one. Okay, so mashed potato is a creamy color, and yellowish, creamy, light yellowish or a creamy color, you can say, and rice is in white color. Okay, so when you pour drops of iodine in that sample, it changes color. What the color? It becomes white. The rice will become, the boiled rice will become blue black in color. Okay, so as soon as you pour the iodine solution to your food samples, the food sample get changed into blue black. Okay, that shows that food sample contain starch. Okay, so it doesn't contain starch, that when you pour the iodine solution, at that time it will not change its color. Okay, now fats like carbohydrates. Fats are also like carbohydrates, are compounds of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Fats are the compounds of carbon, mixture of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. However, 1 gram of fat gives double the energy provided by 1 gram of carbohydrates. So 1 gram of fat, if you consume 1 gram of fat, it gives double energy than carbohydrate. Okay, suppose if you consume carbohydrate, 1 gram of carbohydrate, and it gives you energy, 50% energy, and if you consume the same fat, 1 gram of fat, it gives 100% of energy, double the energy we get compared to the carbohydrate after consuming fat. Okay, so fat comes from mostly animal products. Okay, so the body takes longer to break fats. Okay, so carbohydrate, it can be broken down very easily. We get instant energy from one of the carbohydrate product, that glucose. Okay, but fat is not like that. Fat, when you eat fat, it gets longer time to break down the fat and to get energy. Okay, so we can store fat in our body under the skin. The fats are stored inside our body, but not starch or sugar. Starch and sugars are not stored inside our body. Okay, the fat can be stored inside our body. Starch and sugar gets broken down very easily. When we eat more carbohydrates than the body requires, they are converted into fats. Fats are stored under the skin and around various organs. So when we consume lots of carbohydrates, which is not required for our body. Okay, so everyday working, we need certain amount of energy. If you take excess of carbohydrates, it transfers into a fat and it gets stored inside our body, that is under skin, stored inside our body under the skin. and not only under the skin, it gets deposited in other parts of the organs, okay, like liver and kidney. The stored fat can be used whenever whenever we need, okay. So suppose if I am not, have you ever thought that so I'm not taking food for 2 days but still I am surviving? How I can survive without taking food for 2 days, 2 or 3 days? Because of the stored food, because of the stored fat which we have inside our body, okay. So the excess amount of carbohydrates, the excess amount of fat we took, okay, so we ate before, that is that gives us energy for 3 or 4 days in the absence of food we take, okay. We are not taking food for 3 years. Suppose you are not taking food for 2 to 3 days. At that time, that stored fat gives us energy, okay. We have the still energy to work. So but also prevent the loss of heat from the body and cushion and internal organs. So it protects the internal organs. Fat protects our internal organs. Not only it protects the internal organs, it prevents the excess lot of heat from our body. We get our supply of fats from butter, ghee, oil, milk, egg, paneer. All these products contain fats. We get fat from this kind of products, okay. Not only animal based products contain fats, and the plant based products, things also have fats, like nuts, almond, cashew nut. All these things also contains fat, okay. So that is groundnuts and soya beans also contain fat. Also contain fat, feel greasy and insoluble in water. So fat doesn't get soluble in water. Example, if you take a few drops of water and pour it into the few drops of oil and pour it into the water, what happens? It doesn't get mixed with the water. So it is said to be as an insoluble. It doesn't get soluble. It does not it is not soluble in the water. Fat is like greasy, shiny. It can be seen as a shiny. When you take a few drops of water and pour it into a paper, so after drying the paper, what happens? You will get some patches, okay. It leaves, the oil leaves some marks on the white paper, okay. And when you see the, when you take the paper and see it, it shows the translucent, that is partially we can see the other parts of the paper with the oil which got dried, okay. So which leaves a mark on the paper. That paper acts as a translucent. That means a half portion can be seen, okay. So a partially things can be seen from one side of the oil marked paper to the other side. That is said to be a translucent. Test for fat. What type of test we can do to find out whether the substance containing fat or not? Fat leave a greasy spot on paper. So fat leaves a very patchy or very greasy, very slippery spots on the paper, okay. Very shiny, okay. So if you put a drop of cooking oil and drop of water on a piece of paper and wait for it to dry, okay. So drop of cooking oil on a paper, if you put, as I already said you, if you take it after drying, the oil leaves the mark on a paper. After drying, if you see from one side of that paper to another side, it shows as a translucent. So these are all the tests we can do to identify whether the substance contains fat or not. Now proteins. Protein is very essential, okay, for our body. So in addition to carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, protein contains nitrogen also. They need to make new cells for the growth, and they repair the toned out tissues, okay. So in other words, they are needed to build and repair tissues, okay. So they need, proteins are very much essential for our body. It contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen, okay. So here what happens, protein. So if a child is not provided with a proper protein, if a child is not getting a proper protein, the child will not develop, the organs of the child will not develop properly, okay. Will have some deficiency in it, okay. Suppose you take vitamin A deficiency, okay. Proteins is some deficiency will be there, okay. So here the tissues, the protein, what happens, the protein, whenever the toned part, whenever we get wound or whenever we get hurt, okay. So hurt, at that time what happens, the protein repairs the tissues. We get proteins from animal sources, okay. That sources like milk, egg, fish, meat, all these things are protein content products, okay. So pulses, corn, soya, paneer, all these things contains lots of proteins which is essential for our body. We cannot store protein in our bodies. Excess proteins are either broken down and excreted as urea or converted into fat. So as like fats, as like carbohydrates are excess carbohydrates which we consume are converted into fat, the same way proteins cannot be stored inside our body. It gets converted into fat and it gets stored inside our body. Okay, so proteins can provide us with energy if necessary. Their main function is to form tissues. For the new development of cells and for the formation of the tissues, proteins are very much important. Okay, so how the proteins can be tested in a certain product? Add a few drops of concentrated nitric acid, HNO3, that is HNO3, nitric acid. When you add the nitric acid to egg, okay, so egg white, so we all know that egg white contains a huge amount of protein. When you add nitric acid, that HNO3, when you add to the egg white or a paste of a soya bean or a substance which contains a protein, okay, in a test tube, and heat the test tube gently in its until its contents turn yellow. Pour out the acid into a beaker and pour a few drops of ammonium hydroxide, that is NH4OH. Okay, so ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide. Okay, so when you pour nitric acid, HNO3, when you pour into a substance which contains a protein, that is egg white, after that you have to heat the test tube, and after that what happens, you have to take out the acids to some other utensils or some other vessels. Okay, so some other tubes. Okay, so after that after separating the acid, okay, so you have to pour a drop of ammonium hydroxide, that NH4OH, you have to pour into that test tube. Shake up the tube and you will see the yellowish color will turn into an violet color. That the change of an yellow color to a violet color shows us that that substance contains proteins. Okay, now vitamins. Vitamins are also one of the most important elements in our required by our body. Okay, so vitamins are essential for the healthy functions of our body. So if an organism, living organism, doesn't get proper vitamin, will have a vitamin deficiency diseases. Vitamin deficiency diseases, like you can say vitamin A is good for our eyes. If suppose a person is having vitamin A deficiency, he or she cannot see at night, that is called night blindness. Okay, and if a person with a vitamin C deficiency, what happens, it cannot the scurvy means from gums, okay, blood comes out, our gums become very weak. Okay, so at that time the blood comes out continuously, the blood comes out, that is called vitamin C deficiency symptoms. Okay, so these are all the symptoms and these are all the diseases we get from the deficiency of vitamins. Vitamins are required, very essential for our body, though it requires a very little amount. Okay, though in our body it requires a very little amount. Vitamin A can be manufactured chemically also, not only from the plant-based products we get vitamin A, vitamins, different kinds of vitamins, it can be manufactured. Suppose vitamin D is help for making the bone strong. Okay, so when you have pains on your bones, okay, you go to the doctor. At the doctor suggests you vitamin D. Take vitamin D, which is very much essential for the bones. Okay, so vitamin D is essential for bones and which is prepared chemically. Okay, so vitamins can be prepared by using chemical substances also, and we can get vitamins from the natural products also, natural plant-based products. The importance of vitamins were unknown to us until the early 1900s. Okay, so we do know the importance of vitamins before 1900. Okay, so that is 1900s. So when a British scientist, Frederick Gowland Hopkins, okay, British scientist named Sir Frederick Gowland Hopkins, demonstrated that animals can even die if their diet lacks vitamins. So the scientist has said us that animals can also die if they lack vitamins inside their body. So you can think how much important, though we need a little amount of vitamins in our body, but it is very much important for our body, okay, to survive in the environment. Okay, so In those early years, scientists were not aware of the chemical composition of these compounds, so they called them vitamins. Vita means life in Latin. Okay, so the Latin word in vita in Latin means life. Okay, so it is a Latin word which means life, which gives us life. Okay. Even manufactured drug companies for the treatment of people suffering from deficiency diseases. Though chemicals names have been given a vitamins, they are still referred to as vitamin A, B, C and so on. There are lots of vitamins. Okay, there are groups of vitamins: A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B. Okay, so all these things are the vitamins which is required by our body. So vitamin K, vitamin B complex includes vitamin B1, B2. So vitamin B complex is having vitamin, so vitamin A is there, vitamin B is there, and the vitamin B complex having different, under the vitamin B complex we are having different types of vitamins, a different complex of the groups of vitamins like vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin B6 and vitamin B12. Each influences some vital functions of the body. Okay, so each and every vitamin have its particular functions inside our body. Minerals. Our body also needs small quantities of some elements such as sodium, Na. Sodium, the symbol of sodium is Na, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chlorine, iron, fluorine, sulfur, phosphorus and iodine. These elements are referred as minerals. Okay, so potassium, sulfur, calcium, chlorine, iron, fluorine, all these things are referred to as minerals. Okay, the food we eat include compounds containing elements. For example, common salt. Okay, common salt contain iodines. If the iodine mineral is not present or the iodines lack inside our body, the glands of our throat, okay, so this is the throat, the glands of our throat get swollen up. Okay, it will be very painful. You have seen in some places they are having some persons having goiter. Okay, so the deficiency of mineral iron causes what? Goiter. Okay, so that is the swollen neck gland. Okay, and here the mineral iron you get from iodized salt. Okay, the salt contains the iodine. Okay, though minerals are needed only in small quantities, they are absolutely essential for growth and functioning of the body. Calcium and phosphorus helps in building a strong bones and teeth. Calcium also helps regulate the heart and in clotting of the blood. Okay, so what happens? Calcium is very much essential for our body, which helps to develop, which makes our bones strong. Okay, so functioning of the heart. Okay, so it helps to regulate the heart and in the clotting of blood. Okay, we get our requirement of calcium from milk products. So most of the calcium we get from the milk products and green vegetables, and we get peas and beans. From all these products we get calcium. The lack of calcium can make bone and muscles become weak and affect heartbeat. Okay, so the lack of calcium makes our bone very much weak. Not only bone, the muscles also get very much weak. Okay, so cereals, pulses, milk, fish are good sources of phosphorus. Iron present in cereals, pulses, meat, leafy vegetables and eggs is another important minerals. It helps to formulation of blood. Okay, so iron helps in the formation of the blood. Okay, so suppose if a person is lacking iron minerals in his or her body, what happens? Anemia. He or she gets anemia, which the anemia disease prevents to produce the blood inside our body, which is due to the deficiency of iron. Okay, then water. So water, we know water accounts for about 70% of our body is made up of 70% of water. Okay, so 70% of water and 30% of other things. Okay, so every day we consume water. Okay, every day we drink water. Not only we drink water, in the other sources also we eat water, like cooking. While you cook, okay, so you pour water in that source. By cooking, from the cooking food we are intaking the water, and from fruits also contains waters. Okay, so everywhere water is 70%. Okay, so from everywhere of natural products or man-made products. Okay, so from a different products we intake water. Human beings have been known to survive without food, okay, for 3 weeks. Okay, so it has been seen that human beings can survive without food for 3 days, 3 weeks, okay, but without water they cannot survive for 3 days also. Nobody can survive, human beings cannot survive without water for 3 days, but human being can survive without food for 3 weeks also. Okay, many desert animals do not need to drink water, they make do with water contained in their diet. Okay, so desert animals, or in the places of desert, the water content is very less. Okay, what they do, they drink water at a one go and stored inside their body. Okay, so every day they don't take the they don't drink water. Okay, desert animal example, the famous desert animal is camel. Okay, so camel takes in food and water and gets stored inside their body, and it uses that water, it passes the very less urine or uses the water for a long. Okay, so every day they are not going to get water in the desert places. Okay, so all the chemical reactions in the body like digestion occurs in the dissolved or solution state. Okay, so digestion occurs in a solution state. Digestion also need water, okay, to digest food. Water helps to carry digestion for digested food which got digested inside the food which got digested inside our body. It gets transported, it gets the water carries all the digested food through all part, okay, into the all part. It also carries waste which are thrown out of the body in a form of sweat and urine. As a constitution of blood, it helps carry chemicals and gases throughout the body. So the water carries out the waste materials, the waste products or the waste things, okay, through sweat. Okay, through sweat we throw out all the waste which is inside. Okay, so which is a liquidary waste, okay, which is inside, that gets thrown out through urine. The poisonous waste which is inside our body. Okay, so after eating many things it get digested and the waste products are coming out. Okay, so through urine it is the waste things are coming out, through sweat it is the waste things are coming out. So, okay, water is very essential for throwing out the waste also. Excretion, okay, so excretion, sweating and breathing makes us lose about 2 to 3 liter of water every day. Okay, so every day we lose 2 to 3 liter of water through excretion, through sweating, through urine. Okay, so every day human beings drinks water. Not only they drink water, they can intake water in different forms by through cooking food. Cooking needs water to cook food. Okay, through cooking food and through different kinds of natural products. Fruits contains water. Okay, so different sources human beings take food, water. Dehydration means lack of water inside our body. Okay, so dehydration occurs when we get diarrhea, vomiting. When the excess vomit causes dehydration. Not only vomit, diarrhea. When people get diarrhea, at that time also dehydration is caused. Okay, so dehydration leads to death also. Excess of dehydration causes takes the human life. Okay, so to reduce the dehydration, when the excess vomits, when a person vomits excessively, okay, and when the person diarrhea, okay, so at the time of a diarrhea always we give ORS. You have a known name, ORS, that is an oral rehydration solution. ORS is a oral rehydrate solution which is used to treat dehydration, and dehydration is caused because of the excess loss of water in our body through vomiting, through diarrhea. Okay, so it can make by dissolving. How we can make ORS? ORS can be bought from the bought from the shop also in a packet from the chemist. Okay, so not only that, ORS can be made at home also. Okay, so there is a procedure to make ORS. It can be made by dissolving 4 spoons of sugar. Okay, so we have to take 4 spoons of sugar and mix it with the water and 1 spoon of salt. Okay, and few drops of lemon juice in a 1 liter of water. Take 1 liter of water, there you pour 4 spoon of sugar and 1 spoon of salt with a few drops of lemon juice. Okay, so that is an homemade ORS. Okay, which the patient should drink out. The patient should drink. Okay, those who are doing the excessive vomiting, those who are doing the excess vomiting, and those who have diarrhea. Okay, So roughage. Now we come to the roughage. We cannot digest cellulose and carbohydrates which the walls of the plant cells are made up of. Okay, so walls of the cellulose we cannot digest, which is the cells of the plant cells are made up of cellulose. Okay, so here the cellulose cannot be digested inside our body. It is thrown out as waste. It is necessary for a part of our diet. Cellulose is very much necessary for part of our diet. It is otherwise said to be as fibers also. I have a very famous name, it is a fiber. When you intake fiber, okay, so when you take fiber, little amount of fiber, and we drink water, our stomach gets full. Okay, so fiber swells up inside the stomach, inside the intestine, okay, by absorbing water. So it thus acts bulk of the feces, prevent constipations. Okay, so fiber is present in whole grain flours. So fiber is present in fruits, whole grain flours, whole pulses. Then green peas also contains fibers, leafy vegetables and fruits also contains fibers. Now balanced diet. What do we mean by balanced diet? To consume proper amount of food, proper proportions of food. Okay, so that is said to be as balanced diet. Okay, our body requires certain amount of food to do a certain amount of work per day. Okay, so that per day we are consuming a proper consumption, so we are consuming a proper portion of a food, that is said to be as balanced diet. A balanced diet provides the body with its energy requirement and various nutrients need to function properly. A balanced diet gives us a very healthy body and very healthy nutrients. Okay, so the nutrients can be classified under the following heads. Energy. So energy, we get energy from fat, carbohydrate, fat like rich fats and carbohydrates. Okay, tissue building. So tissue building is from the protein. Protein builds the tissue, toned up tissues. Okay, and productivity is vitamins and minerals. Okay, so vitamins provide us to fight against the diseases. Okay, to fight against diseases, to prevent us from diseases. Okay. So many diet must include all these three types of like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. All these things we should include in our daily food. Okay, so it is very much important for our daily food. Then lack of nutrients. So lack of nutrient causes many types of diseases, many kinds of diseases. If a person is not taking proper food, okay, or proper nutrition is not provided to the body, at that time many fatal diseases attacks us. Okay, so that is said to be as malnutrition. Okay, so influenced food does not allow the body to function properly, lead to diseases. So malnutrition, that means lack of nutrition. Okay, lack of nutrition is said to be as malnutrition. Deficiency of nutrition is a malnutrition. When we don't get proper nutrition, when our body doesn't take the proper nutrition, at that time malnutrition occurs, and because of the malnutrition many life-threatening diseases occurs. Okay, so adults suffering from malnutrition are thin and weak. Those who are suffering from lack of nutrition, that is malnutrition, they are very much thin and weak. They look very much thin and weak. They tire easily and they get very tired very easily compared to the person who is taking a proper nutrition. Okay, so the malnutrition person gets very tired very easily. Okay, very often because the body lacks nutrition and fight infections. They don't have the fighting ability, immunity system. They don't have the proper immune system to fight against the diseases. The disease attracts in the malnutritioned body. Children suffering from malnutrition do not grow properly. The children, those who are suffering from malnutrition, a child, okay, he or she doesn't grow properly, and her or his organ doesn't grow properly. Okay, so it has some deficiency inside the body. Okay, and the physical weakness also is that their metabolism will get slowed down, and they also catch infection very easily. Their immune system becomes very weak to fight against the diseases. In extreme cases, their diet lacks proteins and energy food. They start looking old, and their skin hangs and loose folds over a skeletal body. Okay, they look very older at a smaller age also if they don't take proper nutritional food. If the body is not provided with the proper nutritional. Okay, so they look very older compared to their age. Lack of proteins. So lack of proteins cause symptoms, those person who is having a lack of protein in its body, the symptoms like discoloration of hair, the color gets discolored, the hair gets discolored, okay, and descendant stomach and swollen ankles and patchy skin. Will be having not even toned skin, patchy skin, some dry places you will get, some oily places you will get in the skin, okay. The patchy skin you will get, discoloration of the hair because of the lack of protein, and that swollen ankles, okay. So ankles will get swollen because of the protein deficiency. Lack of vitamins, lack of vitamins causes many kind of diseases like rickets and scurvy, okay. So scurvy means what? The blood comes from our gums, okay. So that is caused by the lack of vitamin C. Then rickets is a disease that affects young children. It can be caused by the lack of vitamin D. Lack of vitamin D causes rickets, okay. So and rickets and less exposure to the sunlight. The sunlight also contains vitamin D. When you have seen that some children are having bent legs, okay. The legs are not properly developed, okay. So they have a bent leg, okay. So because of the deficiency of vitamin D only, okay. So the deformities of legs are called bow legs, okay. The bent legs is said to be as the bow legs, and knock knees. They are having the knock knees because of the vitamin deficiency, vitamin D deficiency. They don't contain proper amount of vitamin D inside their body. And deformities chest is called pigeon chest. Scurvy is caused by the lack of vitamin C. Vitamin C causes scurvy, and that is weakening of gums. From gum whenever you brush, slowly, lightly if you brush also, from the gum the blood starts bleeding. The blood starts bleeding, okay, very often, continuously. So that is called scurvy disease, okay. So that happens because of the lack of vitamin C inside our body. So here ends the chapter. If you have any doubt regarding this chapter, you can contact me at night. Thank you.